case is United States versus the Pacific Management Group. So the case involved 4 C corporation, 5 S corporation, and 5 shareholders. First, i-define ko din ang terms kasi para madali siya maintindihan. So, C corporation is the standard default corporation under the IRS rules. The same yan as the usual corporation natin dito, in which the corporate is taxed at the corporate level and also at the individual level, which is the dividends. While the S corporation is has a special tax status in which the income is passed through only to the company, so the tax is only tax on the individual level. And then the employee stock ownership plan is a benefit plan in which the company gives worker ownership to the interest of the company. Then the notice of final partnership administrative adjustment is the notice of deficiency is like the notice of deficiency, but it shows only the treatment like adjustment sa books ng partnership. And then the tax equity fiscal responsibility of the tax matters partners. The tax matters partner is that for the corporation na na-elect ng isang partner na represent sa court in case may issues. So, background. So, the Pacific Aquascape Incorporated was formed in California. The main industry of this company is that they design, engineer, construct various aquatic environments, including man-made lakes, waterfalls, springs, pools, and spas. So, as of December 31, 1999, ito yung kanilang mga shareholders and the ownership, the shares. So, this is the Pacific Aquascape Incorporated. They design, engineer, and construct yung water infrastructure sa California. And then, they have a division which is the Pacific Advanced Civil Engineer or the PACE. But then later on, the PACE became a separate corporation. So, hiniwalay na nila. Then, they formed another corporation which is the Pacific Aquascape International, which is the same siya as the PAQ, but sa Nevada and Utah. So, then the Pacific Environmental Resources Corp, they specialize in wastewater treatment. They only provide general contractor sa tatlong company. So, yes. So, the companies were all organized as C corporation. So, tax sila sa corporate level and individual level. All 4 function in most respect a single integrated entity. So, the water companies experienced substantial growth between 1990 to 1999. Then, as common sa mga taxpayers, naghahanap sila ng ways to lesser the tax. So, they were introduced to Mr. Ryder, whose practice focus on employee benefits plan and specialized grade tax structure na lower ang tax mo. So, this is the tax shelter scheme. So, Mr. Ryder proposed 2 strategies. One is the employee leasing or deferred compensation plan and the accounts receivable factoring. Grabe talaga ang pagano niya ang brain ni Mr. Ryder. So, Mr. Ryder agreed to design a structure for the 4 companies to achieve the petitioner's tax goals, which is to lower the tax. So, he agreed to supply the opinion and also to represent the petitioner in case na ma-challenge na ng IRS. Then, for the compensation, they agreed to pay $50,000 documentation plus the annual fee, which is 6.33 of the income earned that is not subject to immediate taxation. So,
I may want to know. Why? Because tax consultants usually charge their client based on savings.
Yeah.
Kaya tingnan mo, may
Yes, laki. So, ito yung tax shelter scheme na ginawa ni Ryder. So, he formed 5 corporation. Then, for the 5 corporation, each corporation is for each shareholder. So, let's call them first to incorporate, reverse to incorporate, and so on. And then, this 5S corporation is 100% owned by the ESOP or the employee benefit plan.
Oh, why employment benefit plan kasi tax-free?
Yes, because it's tax-free.
Oh, yeah.
And also, ginawa talaga yung S corporation para ang tax is only the individual level, walang corporate level.
Kaya natin sila ito ng tax price.
Yes. So, aside from the 5 corporation, he also made 2 partnerships, which is the specific management group.
Partnership ito.
Yes, partnership of and the PRC management group, which they have merged, and the only surviving partner is the PRG.
Sa merging nyo, attorney. That is a tax shelter scheme. Merging.
So, ito yung set up ng partnership. So, ang partners ng PMG is the 5S corporations. So, the ownership interest of the PMG as of December 31, 2002 is similar doon sa PAQ sa 4 ng companies. Similar lang sila. Then, the partnership agreed na ang purpose nila is to provide business management and financial services sa clients. So, on November 15, 1999, PMG and the 4 companies form an agreement of management services. So, under sa kanilang agreement is that yung partnership, which is the PMG, will provide the management services to the water companies. Yes, and then the 5 principals, which is also the employees, because the ESOP, yung ESOP, sila lang din na beneficiary ng ESOP. So, yung 5 principals ang mag-provide ng management services sa water companies. But before itong scheme na to, ganun ang setup nila. Talagang yung 5 principals, sila talaga ang nag-provide ng services doon sa farm employees na sila dati doon sa water companies. Under the agreement is that yung partnership, which is the PMG, pwede silang engage to another management services to other companies, pero hindi ito nangyari. Walang ibang client, si PMG. Talagang doon lang talaga sa water companies. So, aside from that, si water company, as the PMG, also provide the master factoring agreement, in which yung receivable ni water companies ibibili ni PMG at a discount rate. And then, sa agreement nila, wala silang specified kung magkano discount rate, pero upon the application year, sa bali sa PACE is 5%, 4% for PAI, and PAQ 4%. Except nung sa PRC, wala silang master factoring agreement. It is Westinghouse, which is one of the shareholders who proposed this discount rates based on the inquiry niya sa mga banks, the typical rate. So, itong si PMG, wala siyang capacity para mag-factor ng receivables kasi ang capital niya is only $2,087. So, wala siyang... So, ang nangyayari dito is yung amount na pinang-purchase niya para sa receivables daw is coming from the management fees din na binabayad ng water company. So parang iniikot lang yung pera sa kanila.
Diyan na short sino yung consultant nila, si Mr.
Ryder.
O, diyan siya na short ng...
So, yeah, ito yung agreement nila. The water companies would sell the AR to the PMG on a non-recourse basis, passing the title to PMG. PMG would purchase the accounts receivable and remit payments to the water companies as soon as the assigned receivable was completed. So the funds on the AR would be deposited to the PMG's name. So ito yung part pa nito siya ng agreement. However, the water companies were to act as the collection agents, which is against sa normal norms ng factoring in which the factor ang nangongolekta.
Diyan na short si ano.
Yeah. Ang purpose nila dito kasi ayaw nilang ma-transfer yung receivables talaga. So,
Because it's risky.
yes,
Transfer the
and they
receivable.
don't want to let the clients know na binenta kanila ang receivables. So, sila pa rin ang nangongolekta. And accordingly, PMG, dapat i-reimburse niya si water companies for the collection fees, yung services na sa pag-collecta. However, wala yung hindi nangyari. Walang reimbursement na nangyari. Then, water companies would provide PMG with security interest in their present and future accounts receivable, but in no other assets. Then, the water companies would not notify their clients that the accounts were being sold. On the outside world, same pa rin operation nila, pero sa inside, di ba na pala?
Internal agreement.
Yes. So, yung mga receipts na nakukulit ni PMG partnership, which is the form of management fees and factoring fees, were separated into 3 pools, which is the performance bonus, shareholders bonus, and the working capital.
Kasi ang PMG ba, partnership ang PMG, di ba?
Yes po, yung partnership ng S corporations. So, ito, so yung pool A1 and pool A2 is based from the profit, yung normalized profit, which is plus the management fees and factoring fees ng water companies. And then, they pay this into tranches, in which the guaranteed payments, yes, is the monthly basic compensation. Ito yung nire-report nila sa tax authority. Talagang nire-report nila to. And then for the bonuses, these distributions were made intermittently, same as kailan nire-release yung bonuses sa water companies, rank and file employees. Then all other PMG receipts that are not distributed to the S corporation were credited to the respective capital accounts.
Tama ba yan sa accounting?